Shit, bro. My bad. My ass fucking had my shit muted. Apologize for that. First of all, um, this is my intraday setup, and you can see the chart right here. I have a couple indicators. Um, my setup on the side is the active trader. If you don't use active trader, I do highly recommend it. It's really good for getting in and out of positions quickly when you're day trading and stuff like that. So um, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of go over some intraday stuff first. I know not everyone has the ability to day trade and stuff like that, so I will also go over some strat plays that I did this week, setups, and I'm gonna show you basically before and after, so you can kind of see, okay, this is what I saw the night before, and this is what I was looking for, and this is how it played out. So I hope that's able to help you guys learn and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get into today what I did day trading. So again, before I unmuted myself, I was talking about this 78% fib level, right? And I'll show you again how I got that. So this is coming from my daily fibs right here on SPY, and basically all I did was I drew from this low to this all-time high, and then you get your Fibonacci levels on the side, right? So my key levels that I normally watch are going to be the 38%, 61%, and then the 78%, right? And you can see we actually had a full retracement down to the bottom, 100%. We actually broke it, but we have not closed underneath 100%. And this is kind of why I think that, we may have possibly seen the bottom on SPY, but, no one can say that 100%. But 426 is definitely my key level on SPY. If we do break underneath that level, then I would be worried. But this is where I got this intraday level, my 78% fib at 437.38 or 83. So you can see right here, it actually didn't quite touch this level, but it did reject right around there, and that's kind of what I was keeping my eye on. And this level right here came from the hourly chart on the strat, and I'll show you that as well. Believe that was right around here. I was looking for this 2 up 2 down reversal. Let me see. No, that wasn't it. What time is that? That was at 11:51. Let's check out where 11:51 is. You can see SPY ran up pretty crazy in the day. 11:51. So right around here is what I was looking for. It was this level right here. I was looking for a 2 up 2 down reversal on the low of this candle right here. So that's really what I was looking for. I got in puts kind of early, and I'll show you kind of what was making me lean towards puts. So first I want to tell y'all about the 9 EMA. That's this white line right here. I'll go ahead and explain all the indicators I have. 9 EMA, perfect for intraday movement. It really helps you tell a lot about the momentum and stuff like that. Then we also have Bollinger Bands, or I use acceleration bands. If you're familiar with Bollinger Bands, essentially they move a little bit faster than Bollinger Bands. You can look up and see what the difference is. I recently started using it within like the past month or two, and I've really liked using them. But you have your top and your lower bands, and these are essentially a standard deviation multiplier of what it does. And then this dotted line right here, that's going to be your mid band. So when you hear me talking about, oh, broke underneath mid band or testing mid band, this is the line that I'm referring to right here. So those are some things to keep in mind. I use these indicators down here mostly on higher time frames, like the 5-minute, 15, and hourly, stuff like that. So I don't use it too much on the 1 and 3 minute. I just have it there for when I'm switching throughout time frames. But so you can see, I believe I came to trade after class. It was about 11ish. I came kind of at the perfect time. I saw this, I had tweeted that I didn't see anything special at first. It was a strong uptrend, and what makes me say is that it was a strong uptrend was that, you know, it was steadily bouncing off this 9 EMA right here. It kept bouncing off the 9. And when I started seeing some weakness is when we had this first close underneath the 9. And you can see actually shortly after started to break underneath the 9, came back to test this 9. We did have a close above it, but it rejected this mid band. So I believe I called some puts that I was going to enter right around this level. And again, I do look for my 9 EMA to kind of tell me momentum and stuff like that. We had this rejection. We came back down. And right here, I will say I really did think we were going to knife. Because this was the 2 up, here you can see it better, the 2 up 2 down reversal on the hourly. I was really looking for the break of this line. I thought things could get real ugly. We were in puts. I think puts were up like 25%, right around here. I didn't actually get that full 25%. I think I took half of my profit, and I ended up cutting maybe back around like 15-10% again. But I did look to re-enter again. Something to keep in mind in terms of risk management. I know y'all hear me talk about it a lot, and essentially kind of what I mean about the risk management is, you know, it's not that hard to make money. It's hard to keep the money that you're making. You know, you see that money, those unrealized gains, but those aren't real gains until you actually sell and realize those gains. So, you know, you might be up like 20%, 30%, but if you don't take any profits, then, you know, you could very well end up being down 15%, and, you know, you go from a winning trade to a losing trade. So that's why risk management is really important. Take profits along the way, you know. Even if one of my plays is running really hard, you know, it like within a couple minutes, maybe it's up 20%, 30%. I'm taking profits along the way. What I like to do is I'll normally take either a quarter or half profit at like 15-20%. You know, maybe if I got 4 contracts on SPY, right, 0-day expirations, maybe they're $50 each. You know, I'm looking to sell 1 or 2 of those at 15-20%. So by then, by 20%, I'm already half out of my position. I've secured that profit, and even if things go against me, you know, I can just move up my stop loss to break even. So that basically guarantees a winning trade no matter what, even if the trade goes against you if you're taking profits like this. Then I'll normally take like another 1/4% profit and maybe like 30% and let that last quarter run, that last contract, you know. Definitely keep your runners if it's a really strong trade and you have conviction that things are going to go your way. But on this one, for example, you know, some of you may have not taken profits right around here, and you know that winning trade could have turned into a losing trade. I am sorry if that happened to you. That's why I always say, you know, you want to make sure to take profits along the way. Anyways, so we had this strong bounce right here, and we ended up breaking above this 9 EMA, and things were kind of looking more bullish on this side. I had already closed out, and I was just watching. I didn't take any other plays really into like right around here, and I'm not even sure if I actually tweeted about that. I had gotten in kind of a last minute. Yeah, I didn't even tweet about that one. That was a personal play. I do apologize about that. There are sometimes I will take a play and it's kind of a little bit more riskier, so I don't want to call it out for you guys. You know, I'm only trying to call out the plays I'm a little bit more convinced, but I will still go over kind of what I did see. So after this strong bounce, this ended up holding support and started reversing up here. When I see something reverse like this, I'm looking to see, is it going to make a new high? So I was watching this. I wasn't planning on really getting in any trades until, you know, maybe either one, we break this high, and with some momentum and volume, you know, maybe I'll get into some calls, maybe I'll grab a starter. And again, especially if it would have broke my key 78% fib level, then yeah, I probably would have gotten some calls on that break. But you can see we reversed right here, and then we started getting some, you know, kind of sideways chop movement all around here. Was holding this mid band on the 3 minute, 9 EMA mid band, it's kind of just chopping a lot here, and I was actually seeing some options flow come in really bullish. That's kind of the unusual wells, what I always kind of will post screenshots of. um, that's live options flow that are coming in, so I'll definitely use that to help create some of a bias, or see what other people are thinking. But I ended up grabbing puts somewhere around here. I kept seeing these long wicks on the top. So wick is basically kind of showing weakness, and something to keep in mind. It has more importance on a higher time frame, and because this is a 3-minute time frame, it's not going to mean everything. That's not, you can't just solely go off, oh, there's one candle with a high wick. But you notice we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles right here. They were all trying to break out, and there definitely were times where I was like, like, I might have to stop out on this play. Maybe the bulls are gonna win. I thought, especially right here when I saw this candle, I thought maybe it was gonna try and go for this high of the day test, but we actually ended up closing underneath the 9 EMA and the mid band. On top of that, we had this tall wick, and it created what you would call an inverse hammer, really bearish candle. So right around there, I kind of started adding to my puts position, and from there, honestly, it was pretty easy. Started breaking underneath this 9 EMA, showing no signs of reversal at all. So again, I was watching this level again. Not all the times is it one of these levels gonna hold to be significant. It might have lost some significance, but you can see it actually did still have some significance. Once we did break underneath this level right here, we actually got a VWAP test, and that was a good play. I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all some other things, like let's go ahead and show y'all Boeing. So one thing right here is kind of a strat related play. I had tweeted about this. Actually, before I go there, I apologize. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some other intraday stuff first. I'm gonna show y'all the befores. Let's go down here. I have a really good one to show y'all. I've been dying to really go over this one. So on January 27th, you can see I tweeted this right here. I basically showed that I saw a nice big wedge forming, and a wedge, especially a wedge like this, is a symmetrical wedge, so it could either break out to the upside or it could break out to the downside. So I was keeping in mind, if it does break out to the upside and then we get a pullback, it confirms support on this top blue line, which happens a lot of times, and that's kind of a go for calls for me. And if it does breaks out to the bottom and kind of hooks back and confirms this is now a new resistance, then that's puts for me. So right here, I wasn't biased in any direction. I hadn't seen anything. I had actually just got I think I just got on this day, and I kind of immediately noticed this wedge. And you'll start to notice stuff like this easier the more you get practice in and the more you do it. But so I was looking for that, and then shortly after, you can see it started breaking out here, and I then drew some key lines right here that I was looking for. And essentially how I make these lines and how I get a lot of these key levels that I'm looking for intradays is those are highs and lows, significant highs and lows of that day. So you can see this level, this one is actually a high day. This level right here was right when we started reversing from here, so that was a new high. And yeah, you could have put one right here, but since they were pretty close and this one was higher, I held more significance from on this level. Right here as well was a new high right here, and it was also a rejection from the top trend line of this wedge. So basically, we break these levels, I'm looking more for calls, and like if we break above it and keep moving with momentum, that's kind of like my confirmation, like, okay, this play is starting to look even more and more valid. And in the same way how I got these levels down here, this was this bounce off this bottom trend line, which is also a nice low, so I made this key level. And then we have this low day bounce off this bottom trend line, So I also made that a key level, and I said that right here. 437.22 is my confirmation level for puts. I don't remember exactly if I had entered a starter on puts on this break or if I entered right around 437, but basically my risk was lower underneath 437 on a close underneath that, so that's really what I was looking for. And you can see here's another tweet. Shortly after, we actually started breaking down from that level, and we broke our other level, and I started looking at this gap fill, and essentially that's what this was right here. It was kind of like a hourly gap fill, nothing crazy, but it was another target to look for essentially. So that's where I got that level from right here, and it ended up hitting that level as well. And you can see it went even lower. So something like this, you can see not once on this 3 minute. Keep in mind, I love the 3 minute for intraday. Not once did we, after we broke down from this wedge, we didn't even come to test this 9 EMA. That was showing lots of strength for us bears. You know, that's what really kept me in my trade. Of course, I was taking profits along the way, but I want to say I left 2 runners on this one because, again, there was just no signs of reversal whatsoever. And we also had this TTM squeeze right here. If you don't know how to use a TTM squeeze, essentially when you see these red dots like this, that means price is squeezing. And I'm not going to get too deep into that. You know, that'll be the video for another time. But essentially, price is consolidating in an area and kind of essentially, you know, building up energy and getting ready to possibly make a high volatility or high volatile move. And it doesn't always work. I don't always use it very much for these lower time frames, but in this case it did work out. But again, you want to have multiple indications, not just, oh, you know, maybe this TTM squeeze is looking bearish, right? So you want to look at multiple indicators, compare them, you know, are all the indicators saying the same thing? Not only was I, you know, getting that we had this break underneath the 9 EMA, we broke the VWAP, another huge indicator that you guys know I use all the time. We broke this mid band, we started testing this bottom band. But not only did I see all that, but I was keeping an eye on options flow. So, you know, there was tons of bearish activity coming in, lots of ask side puts being bought. So if you're not too familiar in terms of, you know, you could buy a call and you can buy a put, but you can also sell a put and sell a call. And then there's buy to open, sell to open. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but essentially I was seeing lots of bearish activity in the options flow. So that was another thing that I was keeping in mind. I want to say that that was it in terms of this play, but it ended up breaking out of this wedge formation really nicely. It was a huge day. I don't even remember what the percent on this was, but everyone was making good money on this play. That's the importance of learning and recognizing these patterns. Let's see what else is there. Okay, here's another one, Boeing puts. I think that one was on the watch list. Where's it at? Watch list from the night before. No, oh, right here. I didn't actually make a watch list that night, but I had tweeted this. Essentially, I was looking for puts underneath this 191, and you know, you can go back and look at this tweet, you know, exactly see what I was thinking. I was looking for this kind of possible outside month, and we actually did end up hitting the outside month. I don't know if any of you guys caught that. Essentially, I'll go over that really quickly, but so an outside month, when I'm talking about an outside month, I'm referring to a 3 candle. This is referring to the strat. If you're not familiar with a strat, I do talk about it a lot, and I can definitely, you know, make some tweets tonight, possibly, you know, kind of a quick overview of the strat. I do plan on making some videos about the strat in the near future, but essentially And an outside candle, it kind of signifies possible exhaustion, or like a failed move. So you can see in this case, earlier in the month, Boeing was actually making a really strong move, and it was pushing this 230 price, and eventually ended up breaking down back underneath the previous month's high. And then what I consider is the 50% retracement of the previous month. So you see this high and then this low the previous month. This 50%, all that means is halfway price essentially between the high and low. So if it breaks to the upside and then starts falling back down and falls underneath the 50% retracement, that signifies that it could possibly be forming an outside candle. So what I would look for as a target was this 185.26, and that was the low from the previous month, and that actually did end up hitting. I'll show you that right here. You can see we hit this target, the 185.26. So you could have swung some puts right there. The way I actually ended up playing it was keeping an eye of the kind of more midterm direction while looking for opportune entries during my intraday scalping. Someone asked a question. You don't use volume shelf. So I don't really use volume shelves, especially because I'm trading intraday stuff. I do occasionally if I'm looking at a longer term chart. I will turn on volume shelves, but to be honest, I don't really use volume shelves too much. I prefer looking for kind of a supply and demand zone, support, resistance, stuff like that, trend lines. That's just my personal preference. Everyone trades differently. You don't have to necessarily trade like me. I just kind of go over what personally works best for me. Some people are swing traders, some people are day traders. Everyone has their own specialty. But again, I'll go ahead and go over this play. So I was looking for puts underneath this 191.92, right? And here is the tweet. I had actually tweeted that we're at our put level, our put trigger. So where's it at? Right here, I put Boeing hit my put trigger, keeping an eye on that. So basically, if it hits your put or call trigger, it doesn't always guarantee, you buy right here and you're going to make money. Sometimes it might bounce off of that trigger. It might consolidate before breaking through. So you really just have to kind of keep an eye on it. So you can see right here how price ended up reacting to it. So 191.92 was my put trigger, right? I actually did enter a put right around here, and it was only a starter. When I say a starter, I mean like one contract. And unfortunately with Boeing, those contracts are a little bit more pricier, so that might be a full position for you. I want to say I only bought like 1 to 3 contracts max. I was trying to keep it relatively small. And essentially on this one was pretty easy. Was underneath this bottom band this whole time. We did get this one little pop, but notice the rejection at the 9 EMA again on the 3-minute. That's why I'm always watching the 9 EMA to tell me momentum. I saw this, and yes, this candle right here, it did break out above the 9 EMA and actually went to test this our put trigger, and you can see it rejected that level. So a lot of times when something is a support level and that level is broken, often price will come back to test that same level, and that previously support level might become a resistance level, and vice versa. If you have a resistance level and price breaks that resistance level may act as a support level now. So you always have to keep that in mind. But we ended up actually rejecting this 9 EMA, so that kept me in my play. Again, I was taking profits along the way. I think it ran like 55%, might have ran a little bit more. And again, I was keeping an eye on this 185.26 outside month target. I don't think it hit it that day, but you don't always need to hit your target, you know, again, when you're taking profits along the way, you should be doing just fine. What else am I going to go over? SPY intraday yesterday. So actually we just went over that one. SPY intraday 124. What's 124? That was Monday. So this is Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Okay, let me look up this tweet real quick just so I can show y'all. Monday, scroll down. I know I tweet a lot, guys. Possibly make a Discord in the future so I don't have to tweet so much on this. Where is it? Right here. I believe this is the one I saw. Maybe that was after the tweet. Oh, okay, right here. So I tweeted this right here, intraday, right? It's basically something I saw. Again, how I created these levels that I was looking for is this was a high, this was a high where price reversed, this was kind of a high where price reversed. This was right here where price actually bounced off this line. So I put that as kind of a key level. I want to say, oh, this is actually isn't even the first tweet I tweeted. I don't think it is. Maybe it is. Okay. Anyways, when I was looking for, I had this level marked off, right? And I started seeing that we rejected. So we rejected this top Bollinger Band. We came to test 9 EMA on the 3, and you notice that we actually caught support on the 9 EMA. Again, that's why I always keep an eye on the 9 EMA. It helps me tell momentum, because obviously previously in the day we were in a strong downtrend. Basically you can see price right here is underneath the 9 EMA, did break up above and essentially ended up rejecting VWAP, broke underneath the 9, came back to test VWAP, broke underneath the 9 again, and essentially from there it kind of stayed underneath the 9 EMA the whole time. We did have a close right here but rejected again shortly after. So this was a good play for puts right here, but I think I had class that day or something and I came in right around here. So I noticed right here that we had a strong break above the 9 EMA and we closed above both the 9 and the mid band right here, which is this dotted white line, right? So that was a pretty bullish sign. I was considering that, you know, that could have possibly been the low, maybe not the low of the day, but the low for now, and maybe, you know, the downtrend is over, we could be forming an uptrend. So that's when I was kind of considering to grab some calls. And you know, we had the strong momentum. I don't think I grabbed any calls right here. I think I played it smart on this one and I waited. If I did play calls, I would have probably looked to take profits short or quickly, just because it already had that big bar. You know, that could have been a lot of the move already in there, and I don't want to chase. You never want to chase anything. Always look for bounces off support, resistance, reversals, stuff like that. Anyway, so I saw this rejection on this top band, right? So I basically marked that as a resistance line. If we can break above this 426.39, I was bullish and I was looking to enter some calls. I saw this bounce. I was already thinking, you know, this could be a new uptrend, so I was looking for a better entry to get into calls versus just, you know, chasing right up here when it was looking really strong. So I saw this pullback and we started kind of consolidating a little bit above this 9 EMA, and shortly after we had this nice strong green bar right here. I started grabbing calls when it broke this 426.39 area and came to test the VWAP. Is kind of what I was really looking for. Even something like that can really make you a good amount of money on calls. That was about $1 move, literally just from this line to the VWAP on 0-day expirations. That could be some big money. So, you know, you could definitely already have made money just from that move alone. But, you can see we ended up rejecting this. We broke above this line, but we could not hold above it. So, that's kind of okay. It's a uptrend, but, this could either be just a pullback for the uptrend to continue, or that could be the top. So that's why you always want to take profits along the way. You might have been up big here, but then you didn't sell, and now you're down. You're literally back to your entry level pretty much. But I saw it coming back down here, and I noticed that again. Remember when I said resistance once broken could then turn into a support level? Well, that's kind of what I was referring to. So this was resistance, then it got broken, broke VWAP, broke this resistance level, but couldn't hold. So then it kind of started coming to test the previous resistance to essentially confirm that it's now support. And that would have been a nice entry to get in if that level were to hold. And you can see it actually held great. So this is that same level. You can see price did break underneath it, but you want to wait for the close of a candle, especially 3 minutes, stuff like that. I don't like really watching the 1 minute too much, just because there's a lot of noise and it's a lot more stressful to watch. So right here would have been a nice entry. Another thing to keep in mind is VWAP. A lot of times when it's kind of switching directions, maybe it was, in this case, we had been rejecting VWAP all day and we were under VWAP all day. And we had this strong bullish trend. We broke VWAP, but we couldn't quite hold above VWAP. A lot of times this happens when price is trying to change from going under to above. A lot of times price will break above the VWAP and then kind of break back under, and a lot of times that's kind of when I look to then enter a position, a bounce off of support, which was this level right here. And then after it kind of breaks VWAP, rejects underneath again, then I'm looking for another VWAP break. And you can see kind of after that it was just a dub from there. We had a little bit of chop right here, but you got on right here, and we have a 15% stop loss. Some people do 20%, some people do 10%. I normally stick around 15%. So I didn't see anything right here that was invalidating my trade, so there was no reason to sell. So I was still in that trade, and we essentially never closed underneath this 9 EMA, and we had this large break above the VWAP, this bullish candle right here. We broke this green resistance level, and then from there on I was basically seeing lots of bullish options flow as well above the 9 EMA. I was looking for these levels to be tested, so I started taking heavy profit around here. And you can see it ended up going further. I didn't take all profit. I had like maybe 1 or 2 runners. Took some more profit above here, and again, that's why you take profit. You want to go ahead and make sure you're not losing out on anything, as price did eventually come back. And you can see it actually came back to this support level, so that's why it's important to keep an eye on your key levels. Keep them in mind and see how price reacts to those levels. Someone else asked the question, do you think this rally continues for a couple more days, or bulls will get trapped Monday considering it's mad sell orders waiting above? I will say I'm kind of leaning bullish at the moment. Most people consider me a bear, but we had a strong close above 438 today. I'll show you that. My 78% fib, again, that was a key level that I was trading off of intraday. So the fact that we had a nice rally end of day and we closed above that line, that level, I'm leaning a little bit more bullish. Again, I can't say 100% sure that the end is over or the bottom is in. So, and that's one thing about SPY is, I'll post my thoughts, but you can never know what price is gonna do. So it's good to create a if this then that scenario for the bull and bearish side. So if it breaks above your top key level, your bullish key level, then you know you might want to play calls to the upside or go long. And if it breaks underneath this one key level, which for me is the 426, if we break underneath that, then I'm real bearish, kind of more long term, and I think we can get a larger correction than what we do have. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it over. I'm only gonna go over like 1 or 2 plays, and these will be quick. I know we're already going on almost, we're going on 40 minutes. I don't want to keep this too much longer than like an hour. Oh, right here, Boeing. So you guys hear me talking about the strat a lot. I actually did call this on the watch list one day. I'm not going to look up the tweet for that just because I don't want to waste time. Kramer said it wasn't the bottom yet, so probably is the bottom. Yeah, a lot of people kind of inverse everything Kramer says. It's kind of full of shit. But again, the fact that we bounced off of the previous corrections lows was kind of a good sign for me. So I'm leaning more bullish than bearish at the moment in terms of SPY. But yeah, so right here I'm going to show you what a perfect example of a 1, 2 up, 2 down reversal looks like. And let me pull up the chart, the little strat combo for you, so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Where's it at? Alright, right here. Where's it at? 1, 2 up, 2 down. So this is basically the combo that I was looking for, right? So we have the 1 and we got a 2 up. So the third candle is what you're looking to, it's essentially the next day, right? So your entry is going to be a break of the 2 ups low, and your target is going to be, this one shows a little bit weird. I normally have a target of the low of the, not the previous candle, but the candle before that. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So on this, I had this, the low, which is 224.26. I had that as my put trigger. So if price broke underneath the low of this previous day's candle, then I was looking to play puts, and my target was going to be the low of this previous candle, which is, what is that, 220.25. Put that on there real quick. So I'll show you even kind of what the intraday looked like that day on the hourly. So it was right above here, I believe. No, it was right here. Alright, so keep in mind that 2 up, 2 down, this. So this was January 18th, right? January, oh, it's not that. Where is that? 18th is right here. So our put trigger was going to be 224.26. Price broke underneath 224.26. I think it's right here. Oh, that's January 19th. 224.26. Right around here. So you can see it was a huge day. Puts was really good for Boeing. I'm not going to go too deep into there in terms of, you know, what I saw intraday, but I'm just kind of trying to show you your entry and your possible target. So it's up to you to, once you enter a trade going off of a trigger from using the strat, it's up to you to determine when to exit that trade, when to take profits, when your trade is still valid and stuff like that. It was a really, really bearish day, not just for Boeing, but SPY on that day. So everything was just pointing in our favor. And you can see that day we actually, not only did we break underneath our target, but we actually ended up coming almost to this candle's low. So that's one play, how you could play a 1, 2 up, 2 down reversal. Another thing to keep in mind, not only was I considering a possible 1, 2 up, 2 down reversal, but I had 2 other things that were really pointing to the bearish side, in my opinion, not just SPY, you know, shitting the bed. First, I'm gonna have you guys notice that this candle right here, this 2 up, you see that huge wick to the upside and then the tiny little body? That's what you call a very bearish candle. People call it different things. You call it like an inverse hammer, you call it a shooter. That's what I normally refer to it as. So that daily candle is already kind of showing me a lot of weakness. It shows that price did try and move and break out to the upside, but at the end of the day, it could not sustain that move to the upside and closed relatively close to open. So that showed weakness already as it was. But I had also been tweeting a lot about Boeing's chart right around here. This is the daily, right? So here's that 2 up shooter candle. You can see that not only did it form a very bearish candle, but I was considering a rejection at this 38% fib because we had already had one rejection right around here. We had this rejection here. We had a breakout above it, but then rejected harshly after. So this is a key level that I was keeping an eye out for. And again, with kind of SPY starting to shit the bed, I was keeping that in mind too. So there was just multiple things pointing in a direction of being bearish. I was keeping in mind that this 225-ish level could very much get rejected, and then I would look for the next key level, which is my 23% fib at like 210, and also my 206 level. And you can see it actually kind of within the next week or two ended up breaking those levels. So you can play stuff swinging, you can play intraday stuff. A lot of times, again, remember how I told you, I like to keep in mind the kind of general direction, at least mid to long term, even when I'm scalping, because I'm looking for good entries, knowing or assuming that it's going to move in either the up or down direction. So I saw 3 things. I saw a possible 1 2 up 2 down reversal with a shooter candle. I saw possibility of this 38% fib getting rejected, and then also keep in mind what the market's like. SPY was getting shit on. Do you think Tesla gets $1,000 retest next week? Probably be the last question in a few minutes of the stream. In terms of Tesla getting a $1,000 retest next week, I don't know about that. Soon, possibly, especially if the bottom is in for SPY. I know they had a really good earnings. They had a shit ton of vehicles that were delivered over the last quarter. But I heard something about I think it was supply chain issues, and that's essentially kind of what made Tesla start shooting. I think it was this day. Yeah, on earnings. I don't know, this day. On earnings, they had basically mentioned that they're having issues with supply chains, I believe. I'm not 100% sure of that. I don't keep up with Tesla too much. I'll chart it here and there kind of for practice, because a lot of people keep an eye on Tesla. But I normally kind of keep an eye on my same specific tickers. I'm sure y'all have noticed that. I have my watch list, and I'll go through that looking on it. I already have a lot of my key levels on the daily charts kind of out there. So, as time goes on, I maybe notice that, okay, price is is approaching this key level. So I'm going to start taking some interest in this ticker. Also paired with, some other indications that whether it's bullish or bearish, stuff like that. But just looking at this daily chart on Tesla, K Brazo, I'll tell you that, let's see, kind of show you what I'm seeing. So I saw we had this nice big rejection of stoic, or essentially it started curling down and it hasn't really tried curling up. It did curl up right here, but that was earnings day and it rejected. That's one thing I keep in mind is stoic. Another thing I'm keeping in mind is the double EMA, and I have it set up with a specific script that someone gave me. So essentially what this green EMA, that's a 17, and then the red is a 25 EMA, I believe. So The way I kind of use it is if the green's above the red, it's bullish. If the green's underneath, it's bearish. And you can see that this green 17 EMA has been underneath the 25 EMA. So that's leaning on the bearish side for me. We broke underneath and closed 2 days in a row underneath this bottom acceleration band. That's bearish for me. TTM right here, you can see we have a lot of bullish or bearish momentum, I'm sorry, and that's increasing. That's bullish for me. But I will say, you know, with today's close again on SPY, it could possibly start reversing, and I'll show you that I do see a possible hammer right here, bullish hammer. So what could be a play for tomorrow is, you know, is price gonna test previous day's high right here. I'll put this green and I'll call it my call trigger, right? So basically, not tomorrow, I'm sorry, Monday, because it's Friday right now. So if price on Monday breaks above my 857.95, which is that even the high? 857.50, sorry. 857.50, that's today's high. So a 2 down, 2 up reversal. I'll show you on the strat thing again. 2 down, 2 up right here. So not only is it setting up for a possible 2 down, 2 up, you gotta think, you know, where's the next 2? Where's price maybe going to go? And then you kind of, you know, you can make an assumption, you can make a guess. But again, it's kind of a if this then that, you know. If price doesn't break underneath above today's high on Monday, then I probably wouldn't look to play that. So a lot of times I'll keep that in mind, and yes, if it breaks underneath this low, you can maybe do continuation play. Don't normally play continuation plays unless I see something playing out intraday, a nice setup to the downside that I would like, or continuing in whatever direction it's already moving. But again, I see that it's forming a bullish hammer 2 down on the daily, so I would look for possibly on Monday a break above 857.50. That would be my call trigger and my potential target. Not saying it's 100% going to reach it, would be the high of the candle before that. So 935.39, right? Yeah, 935.39. And it's really easy. The strat has clear entry and potential target levels, so I would look for, if we do break above this 857.50 and you see lots of bullish sentiment in the market, maybe there's some nice news, lots of bullish volume, options flow, stuff like that to keep in mind. Again, you're keeping an eye on all your other indications. You don't want to just make a decision solely based off of one indicator. So yeah, you know, we could get a test to possibly 937 on Tesla on Monday if we get a good bullish day. But to keep in mind is that, you know, we've been in a strong downtrend on Tesla, and again, with possible supply chain issues, that is something to keep in mind. But if it doesn't break above this 857.50, then you don't enter. So it doesn't matter if you were wrong, or you know, if you thought the wrong thing might happen. You didn't lose any money, you didn't get any trades, there's no stress there. Move on to the next trade. So I'm gonna go ahead and basically end off the stream from there. I don't think anyone, well, it's just you, bro. If you have some more questions, you can tweet me on Twitter. I'll answer some questions on there, and I'm also gonna post this on my channel, so you know, if you want to come back to this, the chances there. Hope you had a good time watching the live stream. Hope you're able to learn something, at least in terms of kind of my risk management, you know, how I'm taking profits along the way, how I think about certain scenarios, whether, you know, oh, I'm seeing this reversal, or I'm looking at these resistance levels. Maybe you have a better idea of how I'm getting my key levels intraday. So I'm not sure if you're an intraday trader, day trader or whatever, or if you like swings, or if you're more of an investor. But you can still use a lot of these things to help keep you in your trades. You know, you can look at the hourlies, do all the same stuff, but on the hourly charts. I really like the hourly charts to help you determine momentum if you're swinging something. It's kind of the same thing. Say you're swinging calls, you know, if you're looking on the hourly, you got a nice entry, and your calls are printing money. You know, you're making money. Maybe you're up 15, 20% or whatever. One, you would look to trim along the way, which is basically saying taking some profits along the way. But you know, keep an eye on things like, say, the 9 EMA on the hourly. Is it steadily holding support above the 9 EMA? That's a good sign. You know, look for other indications as well to help you stay in that trade. Um, so yeah, these intraday techniques can be used for long term as well. It's just gonna take longer for something to play out. No, I'm a day trader too, and appreciate the stream, bro. Yeah, bro, appreciate you sticking through the whole stream. I know it may have not been the most entertaining. I'm working on the live streams. I'm working on getting content to be a little bit better prepared. I did have a few examples to go over, but you know, it's kind of a little nerve-wracking getting in what I thought would be maybe a little bit more people. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm cool just talking to a few people, answering some questions, kind of just giving some insight to how I think. But with that being said, you know, hope you had a good trading week. Look forward to the next week. You know, hopefully Spy will stop shitting the bed and we can start playing some calls. But you guys have a good rest of your day. I'll see y'all on Twitter.